Welcome back to my channel. I'm Rinsanityart, and today I'm working on coloring this character. So today I'm going to be talking a bit about how I color a character, as well as how this whole YouTube project is going for me. To give you a quick overview, I begin by blocking in all of the main colors, and then from there I add shading with different layer effects. For this particular drawing, I kind of had a base of colors that I knew I wanted. For example, I knew I wanted the fire to be blue, and I knew I wanted his hair to be a cool tone. I initially wanted the pseudo tunic slash t-shirt that he's wearing to be a kind of cream tan linen looking thing with the red trim. Even though I end up changing the color to black later, I definitely wanted to keep the red trim around the collar, the sleeves, and the hem. I block in the colors very simply by just going around the outline with the color I'm planning on using and then using the paint bucket tool to fill the insides. I decided on purple for the hair because it was between that and blue, and since the fire was already going to be blue, I decided purple would be the better choice in making it less monotonous. I toyed around with the idea of making a skin tone something crazy like green or red or something like way out there, but in the end I decided on this dusty brown color. I suppose I wanted to humanize him a little bit more because I knew I was going to have the pointed ears because that's in the line art, but I also wanted to add these glowing slitted pupils later. I then spent forever messing around with these tattoos. I knew that I wanted the tattoos to be like a neat feature, and I wanted them to interact with the skin in a unique way. Initially, they were just going to have an effect on the skin, like a soft light filter. But in the end, I decided that I wanted them to glow. And I haven't done very many glowing effects in this manner before, so it took me a while to parse it out. So once I had all the colors blocked in and the glowing effect on the tattoo, I decided I wanted to add my shadow layer. So for me, the easiest, most straightforward way for me to do shadows digitally is by coloring the shadows in a solid color and then turning that layer into a soft light layer. While I initially block in the color for the shadows, I soften the edges later using my blur tool or using the Gaussian blur filter. I just think this makes the shadows look more natural and organic, but it also helps me see where I'm laying them down initially. I basically just repeat this process with another layer. I label it my highlight layer, then I use white or another light color in order to do my highlights. For this particular drawing, I added an extra step where I added the firelight highlights. So that's just a soft light layer, but instead of using white or yellow or whatever, I use the color of the fire, which is a light blue. And so the main source of lighting in this photo is coming from the top right hand corner, but then I also have a little bit of lighting coming off the fire as well. From there, I just kind of mess around with it forever. And when I say forever, I mean like forever. It took me probably 2 to 3 hours to finish this. I lost a little bit of footage, but most of that footage was me just messing around with tools because they weren't working properly. Some of the final steps I do is adding specific little highlights here and there, messing around with the fire, messing around with shadows here and there, and then I color the line art. So for me, I just lock the transparency of the layer, and then I'm able to color just where the line art is. And you will see later in the video I mess around with this process a lot. And then at the very end, I add another screen layer, and that just has a little bit of some colors. In the end, I decided on purple and kind of a yellow-orange, and it just, I feel, adds dimension to the piece. It's totally unnecessary, but personally, I like the way it looks. Now that I've taken you through the basic process I go through to color any of my digital art, I'm going to talk a little bit about YouTube. So as I mentioned in my first video, I didn't really start this channel in order to become popular or even make money from it. It is just to incentivize me to make more art. And in some ways it's definitely working. I'm very excited to be creating something and forcing myself in a way to have a deadline by which to finish the process. However, that also causes a little bit of stress. Personally, for me, I work a part-time / full-time job, and it can occasionally be a little bit hard to work in actually doing the art, editing the video, making sure everything's recording right, and then compiling it all together and posting it onto YouTube. I'm not gonna lie, I did some of this coloring process a while ago. However, I got really distracted by my job, which, you know, is the priority. And then I totally forgot about it until early last week. Mostly because halfway through actually coloring this, I was having lots and lots of technical difficulties. My tablet pen was freaking out on me. The settings were all wonky. I kept trying to draw, and then instead of putting lines down, it would just adjust the size of my brush. And I'm not entirely sure why that happened, other than I think that my computer is just, you know, it's not having the best of times right now. So when the computer gets too hot, or my files get too big, or I've been just working for too long, my computer tends to get possessed and wig out and do weird things. So I took a step away from it for a while, and when I came back, it was nearly a month later. So I finished compiling all the videos together sometime last night, and that was Monday, August 31st, and this video is supposed to, you know, be posted by September 2nd. While it definitely has motivated me to actually create something, I'm a little bit disappointed in myself for once again procrastinating into the last minute. Right now, things for me are a little bit crazy at work just because of the whole quarantine, coronavirus nonsense, and everything that entails. And we've lost some people, we're trying to hire people, we're transitioning positions, all sorts of things that are going on, and that has been my focus. But I feel that that's not an excuse for letting myself down and failing in my own self-imposed goals. So for this particular character sketch, I have broken things down video by video. I have the sketch phase, the line art phase, and now the coloring phase. So in future videos, I'm inclined to combine it all into one. It takes a while though. I guess I'd never realized how long it takes me to actually finish a piece until I am, you know, speeding the video up by 1000 or more % just to make it fit into a like 15 to 10 minute time frame. I believe this video ends up being close to 16 minutes, and I just, you know, they're gonna keep getting longer. Initially, the first video was 7 minutes, and I only had to speed the video up by like 500%. And now that we're at the end here with the actual coloring phase, that has taken significantly longer, and in order to keep it at a reasonable time, I have had to speed it up by 1000%. Starting this YouTube channel and, you know, just becoming familiar with editing software in general, and even looking back on how long it actually takes me to create a piece, has been fairly eye-opening and super, what's the word, educational. I feel that I've learned quite a bit from this, not just the software itself and how to post to YouTube, but actually about myself and my art process. So this style video is going to evolve in the future, and I guess I'll just see where this takes me. But if you have any questions or suggestions, I am always willing to answer and always willing to engage in discussions. You can reach out to me on Instagram or, you know, Tumblr, sort of. I also have an email, which you can get through my Instagram. And of course, you can always comment on this video. So for now, I think that's all I really have to say about YouTube and my coloring process. So I will leave you to watch the rest of this video, and I will see you in the end credits. Hello again from the end credits. I would appreciate it if you could leave me a comment and let me know what you thought. Until then, I'll see you next time.